Hello, creatives. Thank you for dropping by. Before we get started, please hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps out the channel and helps us out and helps us grow. So today, a lot of people may be somewhat upset for external situations, and we're not going to get into that here because this is not a channel for that. I have other channels for that kind of thing. But the thought behind today, the thought that is the driving thought for today and for your life, is you have to create your own happiness. You don't chase happiness, you make your own happiness or your own contentment. So you have to not depend on what's happening in your life, not depend on external circumstances. Today, I want you to really consider that the only person responsible for your happiness is you. And you have to create it. You can't just expect things to be the way you want them to be for you to be happy, because if that's going to be your position, you're going to spend a lot of your time unhappy. So you have to create your own happiness. And whatever that may mean for you, maybe it's taking a nice walk to clear your mind. Maybe it's knitting, maybe it's reading a good book and a fantastic cup of coffee. It's the small things that create happiness. And sometimes the big things too, spending time with your family, pursuing your passion, connecting with friends or family that you haven't connected with in a while. This may be the time to do it. So I want you to really consider today that being happy is not dependent on anything outside of you. That's the mistake that so many of us make, that in order for us to be happy, we expect situations to align perfectly. And nothing is perfect. We're not perfect. Life isn't perfect. Things aren't perfect. So you have to create your own happiness. You have to make it yourself. Easier said than done, especially when things seem to conspire against you, or how they say trouble comes in threes, or things don't work out the way you expect them to work out. But despite all of that, you have to find a way to create your happiness. I'm reminded of Nelson Mandela, who spent 17 years, total 27 years in a prison. And yet he didn't come out a bitter and cynical man. He came out to change the world. So even despite all those years in prison, he still came out an optimist, which is hard to do when you think about it. It's almost impossible to imagine. But yet he managed it. Not only did he manage to come out an optimist, he wasn't broken by his situation. He came out and changed the country. And by changing that country, he impacted the world. So you have to be able to create your own happiness. Despite the circumstances, despite what life throws at you, you have to create your happiness. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. And most of the times things may seem dark and dire around you. And even in the midst of that, I'm reminded of Viktor Frankl, who spent time in a concentration camp, and he still found moments. And I'm telling you, if you want to talk about a really dire situation, that's a dire situation. And yet he still found moments, even in that situation, even in that circumstance, to be happy. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy, but you can do it. You can create your own happiness. Find pleasure and joy in the simple things of life, in the small things that sometimes we take for granted. A wonderful day, a walk, a stroll outside when the weather is awesome and comfortable. And for me personally, a great cup of coffee, getting work done, getting some writing in, spending time with my family, watching some anime with my youngest. Things like that make me happy. Spending time with my wife, that makes me happy. All these things can make you happy, but you have to create your own happiness. Happiness is not an external situation. Happiness is an internal situation. So seek your own happiness, create it. Don't go outside looking for it. Make it from inside. And above all things, be uncommon. Have a great day.